to help job seekers in this job industry keep their market knowledge up to date. Andreas Rudolph, Managing Director of Sport2000 Germany, was happy about the retailer's policy of not slashing prices on skis and other winter-related products in spite of a drop in sales of some 20% in this category. The affiliated retailers of Sport2000 made it fairly well through 2011 in spite of unfavorable weather conditions. At the retail level, sales went down by 2.6% to 1.49 billion euros. German sporting goods market was down by 4.7% to the official level of 7.54 billion euros. Therefore, even with its own shrinking business, Sport2000 gained market share by 0.6 percentage points. Highly significant is Sport2000's ranking of its top vendors in 2011 compared with the previous year. ASICS Corporation has reported a 0.9% increase in total sales to 1.86 billion euros for the third quarter ending December 31st, with growth of 10.3% in local currencies. Domestic sales increased by 4.1% to 627 million euros, driven by running and basketball shoes. Sales in other countries increased by 6.8% thanks to the acquisition of Hot Gloves in mid-2010, as well as ongoing progress in running in Europe and the Americas. The acquisition of Hot Gloves and higher sales of running shoes were the key factors of growth in Europe. On the other hand, the operating margin fell in the region to 15.2% from 20.8% in the year earlier period, due apparently to investments in advertising, the development of its apparel sector, and company's new European head office. Separately, ASICS has announced the formation of 2 new subsidiaries in India and Singapore to help expand its business in Asia. One year ago, Salewa Oberalp announced the acquisition of Pomoca, the Swiss manufacturer of mountaineering skis, which is now completely integrated into the group. At a press conference at ISPO, the Italian family-owned company announced the acquisition of Wild Country, a British producer of high-safety harnesses and other climbing gear. Its sales increased by 6% to 175 million euros in 2011 and are expected to grow by another 3% this year, in spite of the snow situation. Wild Country will contribute an annual turnover of around 4 million euros. Amer Sports sales fell by 5% in the fourth quarter to a 10% decline to 375 million euros in the winter and outdoor business. In the full year, the group's sales rose by 8% to 1,881 billion euros. The increase reached 9% at constant currency rates. The gross profit margin widened by 43.5% from 42.6%. In its guidance for 2012, Amer said that the slow start to the winter season is likely to impact 2012 pre-orders. However, pre-orders from the spring-summer collection were up by 28% for apparel and rose by 40% for footwear. The company estimates that Nikita brand portfolio has to be improved to better serve young consumers, and addressing the action sports market will be a key focus for the years to come. Columbia Sportswear recorded excellent figures for its 2011 fiscal year when the sales soared by 40%. For the fourth quarter alone, turnover was up by 15%. Net profit was up by 40% in the same period. For the full year, net profit jumped by 34% to $103.5 million. By brand, the overall winner was Sorel, one of the footwear brands of the group, whose sales jumped by 68% for the full year, outpacing Mountain Hardwear, which still booked a nice increase of 17%. The core Columbia brand was up by 10%, reaching $1,391 million for the full year. Wolverine Worldwide has reiterated its intention to carry out acquisitions. The focus remains on buying new brands, but the group does not rule out a move that could increase its retail activity. Sales of outdoor products at Wolverine Worldwide rose by 4.5% in the fourth quarter, slightly underperforming the rest of the group, whose total revenues rose by 5.6% during the period to $406 million, thanks to a 13.4% rise in lifestyle goods. During the year, The outdoor division increased sales by 18%. Wholesale revenues of the Merrell brand exceeded $500 million. The company indicated that the sourcing environment is much more stable than 2 years ago and that it will be able to adopt a less aggressive stance on pricing to offset higher production costs. The company of the week is Sportyjob. This is a new magazine format that Sport Guide chose for 2012. After its launch 6 years ago to a pocket format, the magazine is now A4 format to be lighter, richer and best illustrated. Also, it proposes new sections as trade developments in sports and complements with daily economic news on www.sport-guide.com since 1999. On time to make choices, this magazine printed in 3,000 copies for its launch wants to be pointed to observe good and less good practices of retailers and brands. Who's successful, why, how, one purpose, enable all to take a decision wittingly. Boyle has promoted Adrian Moser to be Vice President for Global Apparel Merchandising and Design for the Columbia brand, replacing Sue Parham, who has left the company. Rainer Schramm, who has been the Managing Director of Head Germany since May 2000, has been promoted to the position of Vice President of the group. And Paolo Doria, who worked previously as Sales and Operation Planning Director at O'Neill, is now Director of European Operations and Finance to Skullcandy. The job offer of the week is presented to you by Skullcandy. Skullcandy seeks a POP and retail manager to a permanent position. The candidate will optimize the Skullcandy brand and product presence in store, create a Skullcandy brand experience on point of sales through product and brand assets, maximize the display return on investment, and organize the display program. He must be creative, organizing, and must be fluent in English. An experience of 2 to 5 years in a similar position in a lifestyle company is required. For more details, see you on sportyjob.com. And now, the latest stock market trading from the world's leading sports companies.